Okay, hey everybody. Happy Saturday to you. Gonna be knocking out Beta Ray Bill. I thought this would be cool and different. So that's what we got right now. I'm gonna share this with the page real quick, and then we're gonna knock it out. I know it's later in the evening, but I wanted to do some book work and got a little sidetracked on it. Just to be honest with you, I couldn't decide what I wanted to draw. But now we've got it situated. I'm going to punch over to the screen here. Hey, Johnny. And knock this thing out. I'm going to turn this lamp off. So push this backlighting here so I don't burn my head. That would be a bummer. But I haven't drawn Beta Ray since I was a kid. So this should be interesting to say the least. I really dig this character. He's one of my favorite versions or incarnations of Thor or cast members of the series, but he's the one that I know the least about, believe it or not. I've never followed his history too much because of the fact that I didn't want to spoil the character with the way they always do these alternate realities and all that mess here lately with the Marvel Now and all that mess, and they've got him back, and he's red and gold, and even went Canadian for a little bit, which was strange. He was supposed to be Canada's Thor at one point because he got stuck on Earth and wanted to help out, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's not awkward at all. But it is what it is. So it was just I found it really, really strange, as I find most of the Marvel stuff these days. Again, not knocking Marvel or Disney. It's just for the comic books, they're monkeying with them a lot, and the stuff we're getting today is just not near as up to par, unfortunately. DC's doing way better books. And I hate to say that because I'm a huge Marvel fan, but at this point, though, it's gotten to where I'm not going near them. I wish they would come back around and do some, classic style books, not just artistically, but because that's the big thing they're doing over at Marvel right now is they've got it all where they're doing this really weird 1950s style stuff, and it's just strange what they're doing over there. But anyway, I saw Beta Ray in the Ragnarok film that I saw, and I just recently got to go see it, and I was really impressed with it. He was on one of the he didn't appear physically, but he showed up as one of the statues or an alien there of his species showed up as one of the gladiators for the Planet Hulk segment, which I found really, really cool. But unfortunately, we didn't get any Beta Ray out of it. I was hoping they might have a cameo in there. They said there was one in Guardians, but I just didn't. I didn't see it as that. I have no idea if they actually did or not. But it was supposed to be in one of the collector's tubes of display there, and where Howard the Duck and all that was, and I just didn't see it. I mean, I might have missed it, but who knows? I'm okay with that if I did, though, because of the fact that I'm just not sticking to them like I once was. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go into a tangent or anything like that, because that's not what this is about, and nor do I care to. But yeah, I guess knowing Marvel's going to close down or go digital or do whatever they're going to do under that new platform they've got, I'm kind of jaded about it right now, I guess. Kind of in a bummed mood about it. Because I would really like them to pick it up and do what they're supposed to do, which is make comics. But they don't want to do that. So, but we'll keep drawing though. We'll keep drawing, keep knocking them out. And by the way, I didn't do anything spectacular for it, but I'll tell you a funny side note. Well, funny to me anyway, because I can't believe I made it that far. This is card 200. Card 200. Can you believe it? And it landed on a Saturday. But that's all right. We're here. We're having a good time. We're going to hang out. And I'm going to mow through this card right here. And knock out Beta Ray, which, like I said, is one of my favorite characters of the Thor series. And to be honest with you, he's one of my favorites in the Marvel Universe. He really is. I love this character. I think he's underutilized. I think he should be far more than what he is in development as far as Marvel goes. I think he's awesome. But they don't want too many, I think the clash was they didn't want too many Thors running around. And even with an alternate universe version like this, they still wanted to keep it, this was like it's supposed to be rarely used, tap it once in a while, and then put it back and, use it as a special power or a special ability and, a special appearance, and then you run down and go off that way. And you'll notice in this carnation, I'm not, this incarnation here, I am not pushing out the wings quite as prominently as most people would. I'm making them more metallic, like the later modern versions, where it's not earthbound in creation, which is always cool to uphold, a unique alien approach rather than just going off and giving him, Thor's helmet, which, if I remember right, he was supposed to be given the power of Thor to protect his planet from Odin anyway. But I'm not sure how that played out. Because, like I said, there's 3 or 4 different versions of the origin story of Beta Ray Bill. I'll have to do a little more research on it. Because this is one that I just am not up on at the moment. And if you guys know it, feel free to post. That's cool. As long as we're on Facebook. And once this is up on the YouTube channel, if you guys are cool with it, go for it. I will say this, though. I have hit the prime time, man. I've officially hit the notoriety of Facebook and YouTube fame, because now people are spamming mixed videos to rank under my name, because my keyword my name is a keyword now. And it's funny because of the fact that it shows up like, it'll be like mix Brad Linder, it'll be creating comics Brad Linder, and then it'll have some kind of stupid kid on there trying to do like video game recordings and whatnot. And it's just ridiculous, the stuff that they do, because my keywords are coming up as listed keywords, and it's showing up in my listings. I'm still at the top of it. So if you go to YouTube or Facebook and put in Brad Linder, I'm right there. But the funny thing is that the videos are starting to show up, like number 34, 35. They've got a couple that have been tweaking into the ranks here and there. And I just think it's hilarious. And of course I have to report them as spam because they're not on the keyword list, legitimately. They are spamming the keywords, and they lose rank. But all I do is say, hey, we got a spammer on here, and go from there. Not that I'm trying to get rid of anybody or, lowball anybody or whatever. But, I mean, if you're legit, cool. But if your name's not Brad Linder and your name, you're not creating comic stuff and you're spamming it with video game footage, I work really hard to keep that keyword clean, that keyword list clean, and I work really hard to keep my name rep very high end and very clean too, because there's already a couple of other guys with the same name. You know, there's a journalist that does pretty legit stuff. There's a couple of other. There's a professional athlete and a trainer that does stuff, and you know, there's a couple of things going on, but in fair competition. But then there's these idiots that want to come in and try to spam it, you know. And don't do that if you're getting the idea. Don't spam keywords, because you will get busted, and Google will get rid of you. And they are being very, very harsh about that right now. They just made a change to the algorithms that is a new testing ground for 2018. And if you screw around with them, they will boot you out instantly. I mean, they have some new stuff going on that will tear you up from no end and just say bye-bye. And it won't give you the low ranking that you think you'll see. It will bump you completely out. It is hardcore what they're doing this year. And as a social media positioning expert, and then on top of that, as working with search engine optimization branding, or as I've coined it, social media expert positioning, or or you have search engine optimized branding. And if you go off of both of those, man, I'm telling you, the data is totally different from what people are doing, and you got to be very cautious and careful about that. You can't be screwing around. They'll kick you out. And once you get kicked out now, they have a permanent status quo to where they kick you out, you're gone permanently. And you have to create a whole new profile and build yourself back up, and you have to get unspanked. And that's a technical term, by the way. Because they will put you out. They will put you out. And they have ways of verifying where it's coming from, if it's you and your pattern, and if it's really you and whatnot, you know. So they don't just kick you out to kick you out. They have to have a reason. But, man, in comics and in, you know, digital marketing and direct marketing, I have to be very cautious with that kind of stuff, because they, you know, there's always, they being black hatters, there's always people out there that are trying to cut the system and, you know, screw with it and whatnot. And I mean, even until today, you can't do that. That stuff doesn't fly anymore. It works for about 2 seconds, and then you're gone, and then you can't get back in. But to each their own, I suppose. But as far as comics go, my comics are still ranking really well. And with all the new books coming out, finally, this winter, I'm very pleased with that. Got a bunch of new stuff coming out, and took forever because, you know, being a one-man army with comics, and then getting everything out of the way for all the promotional stuff with the changes, man, it's just crazy. But I got a new one coming up for you right away. And I'm very pleased to say my new books are coming out, hitting the racks, and I'm not too big on putting comics on CreateSpace, though, because that's, you know, their print on demand is ridiculously expensive. I mean, maybe as a graphic collection or a trade collection later, that'd be one thing that would be really cool. But, you know, digital comics is fine. I'm okay with having digital comics on there. They work out really well. But as far as everything else goes with, you know, print on demand or anything like that, don't do that. It's very expensive. It's very bad for somebody doing a very small press item, because they still charge you through the nose. And it's very painful. It's very painful. So, but seriously though, if you're going to use CreateSpace, you know, be very cautious about that. Don't use print on demand for comics, because it will eat your budget completely, and you'll have to charge somebody for what you would charge a $3 or $4 comic book in digital, and make a decent way to take care of your team, and make some legitimate money to build up more books and products and stuff with the artwork and whatnot, and make this a real viable business. What you have to face is that somewhere down the line, if you go print on demand, you're going to have to put up with what's going on, and it's going to make a $3 or $4 comic book go to like 15, 16, 18 bucks. Just stupid expensive. Don't do that, because nobody will buy it. I mean, maybe your mom, but nobody of legitimate purchasing orders will buy it at that level. It's just not going to happen. I mean, that's not practical. So, and Comixology is getting really, really bad on comics as well. They're making changes in 2018 that's going to really screw with stuff. And they're taking almost a 45% cut now on most cases. They're charging some new guys 45% to get decent ranking in their comic books, and you have to go in with their donation or subscription service to even get recognized anymore. So don't do that either. I got an alternative coming up for you real quick. I'm not going to say anything about it right now. I don't have time today to do that, but I will be showing that very soon. And right about Christmas time, we're going to have a very cool alternative come up that they won't be able to compete against or touch. It's going to be nice. Very, very nice. And all my comic buddies out there, think about this one. I'm going to be giving you quite a bit of time for free on that service. So, yes, it is a service. But like I said, I don't have a lot of time to go into it today, so we won't do that. But soon, my friends, soon. He's coming out pretty solid here. Now, there's some funky alien designs in here that I'm not going to put in because of the fact that I don't want to try to get those exact and miss it due to being in a point of wanting to be expedient here. That means to expedite and knock this out so we can move on, and you guys aren't like here all weekend with me, just for a little bit of a visit for the day for the card. Very cool. Okay, now I'm going to detail in this cape a little bit. I am going to do that, and right there, just very quickly, kind of pop in a little bit of texturing. And then I'm going to go down to the chest over there and work on the disc. And then we're going to call it a day. Keep it very simple and clean and move forward with that. Okay, cool deal. Done. Now, I'm going to go right down here. I like to put rims in these things because I like them to be a little more three-dimensional in the way that they're developed. And a lot of people don't, because Beta Ray doesn't normally have them. It depends on the artist that's drawing him as to if he has them or not. But what I like to do is go down the middle here and put kind of a rise so you can see it come off. Dink. There you go. Just like that. And don't mess with it too much because it is strange to see that detail overworked. That just rises it up a little bit, or raises it up correctly. English. I can speak. I can do it. I can speak. So I'm going to go in here and raise this up just a little bit to make it look like it's elevated. You know what I mean? make it pop up like the collar. So it's ornamental on his suit, not just sitting there flat. So now with that, I'm not going to black this out, even though I did that to Thor the other day. I'm not going to do that here because I want to make Beta Ray a bright blue and make him look more cosmic rather than doing it to where the old traditional style of just, black. So we won't do that. We'll leave him open. I'm going to put in kind of a little more organic detailing in here. Not too much because I don't want to scratch him up, but just a little to make him look a little more alive, a little more grimacing. And then what we'll do is we'll come down here on these teeth. I'll edge them out a little bit where they look more organic and worn. They look like less like veneers. So, because we know how that works. Big old game show smile. Not that a nice smile isn't important. It is to me too. It's just, he looks a little more gruesome that way. So, but I hope you guys dig it. That's where we're at. Yeah, hey Kevin, glad you made it, man. Yeah, I hope they do too. I hope they really do. I hope they add him to the movie universe as well. But with this next wave of films, from what I understand, everybody's talking about him getting a film, and I don't know if it's going to be a cameo in the next Thor film or if it's going to be something major, like his own film. But I personally don't think he's established enough in the film set to really see that go to life and fruition like everybody hopes, like the hardcore fans hope, like you and I do, because I don't think he has that establishment yet and that following. And if somebody starts popping out, this guy as a Thor, they're going to say, wow, they made Thor a horseman, and that's, it's going to be a bad deal. And I don't know if it's going to be something fans are going to grasp onto. They're going to have to make him cameo somehow before they give him his own movie. If they don't, it's not going to happen. I mean, he doesn't have the viability of a Black Panther or a War Machine, like they're giving War Machine his own movie, and which is kind of ironic and clashing with the Punisher situation because they're doing the Punisher series on Netflix, which we all know about, but in turn they're turning right around and doing the War Machine Punisher Warzone bit that they're doing right now, which is completely 180 compared to what they're doing with Frank Castle and with War Machine on the screen. So I mean, if Thanos kills him or takes Rhodey out at least in the Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Wars series, we'll see what happens with it. But I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they expand the universe, but with Disney doing what they're doing right now, I have no clue, man. Honestly. But I think we're going to call that done because I don't want to overwork Bill because he's got, like I said, he's got kind of that alien horse face thing going on, and I want to keep it very open so I can keep the face bright and not have to over-detail it. That's it for Saturday. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I totally agree. They revamped the Guardians for the movies. They revamped it completely in comparison to what they have on the comic books, because the comics, yeah. As a matter of fact, Star-Lord was the original Star-Lord was like blue, wasn't he? At one point, I mean, he was like Captain Marvel, the black starry essence, cosmic essence kind of character. It was a little strange, but anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be doing, as long as everything holds up I'm not going to disclose what card I'm going to be doing, but I do know that I'm going to be touching base on the Godzilla King Kong piece. So you guys watch out for that. I'll post something in the morning as to when I'm going to be doing that, so you guys can come on and check it out. And we'll have a card. So until then, take care, hugs, smiles, all that good stuff. Pass them around to everybody, see how it goes. And enjoy Little Punisher on Netflix. I have no association with them. I'm just really enjoying that series. No spoilers. I haven't seen it all yet. I hope you guys get to see it. Take care. Catch you later.